Hey, everyone, there's a new player in town, and his name, Alexander Usyk. It's time for y'all to kind of pay attention to what's going on across the water. What's good, everybody? Polo J with another edition of In the Red Corner Boxing with Polo J. Let me start by saying this. I want to send a very big congratulations to Mr. Alexander Usyk. You know, there was plenty of people doubting this man, doubting his ability, doubting his skill set, saying that he's too small. He's never faced anybody with power. He's never done this. He's never done that. He's never done this. He's never done that. Well, he's done it. And he did it quite convincingly. So I have to ask the question, are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? And another thing, is Anthony Joshua what we thought he was? Is he the fighter that we think he is? In my opinion, yes. I've always seen him as a great fighter, but when it comes to taking a step up in competition, taking those big championship fights, those big ones, the really big ones, he comes up small. Now, this is not an indictment against him or anything like that. This isn't even saying that he sucks. This isn't saying that he's terrible. It's just, in the heavyweight division, can you really have a king that ain't willing to hold the crown? Like, seriously. Everybody's talking about rematch, trying to push the rematch. This man needs medical attention. He got the paws put on him. He got the brakes beat off of him for a little bit. And I heard Eddie Hearn say today that it was at least 7-5. 7-5. See, I didn't see it that way. I didn't see 5 rounds. I didn't see 5 rounds that you could even give Joshua. 5 rounds? That was a little generous. Maverick, you missed a good one. You missed a shocking performance, man. It was a masterclass in boxing. Not fighting, but in boxing. Usyk put on a display that is going to be unrivaled. He took away Joshua's best weapon, almost his only weapon, and that's the right. Yeah, he let him touch him with it, and sometimes it slipped in, but it didn't faze him. Never once did I look at this fight and be like, okay, Usyk is hurt. Usyk's on the run. Usyk doesn't know what he's doing. Usyk, oh my God, he's going down. There were several occasions, that I could count, where I was like, oh no, Joshua's about to go down. And the killing thing about it, if you want to be technical, Joshua kind of got knocked down, but they called them slips. Yes, we all know there's a difference between slips and knockdowns. We know this. We're not dumb. We're not dummies over here. Everybody over here that wants to be in the chat and is over here in the Red Corner Boxing or over there on GMT Boxing, we're well educated in the pugilistic sport of boxing. We're well educated and well versed in prize fighting. We are. So we know what we saw. Boxing Politics was trying to do it, but you have to be so undeniable that even the politics has to go back to the drawing board. Eddie, how fast are you going to try to get that rematch? How fast? Because I'm guessing this is just me. This is just me. I think you should take some time to invoke that rematch clause. Because this man, he put pause on you. He took your fighter's best shot. He took your fighter's best shot, and it didn't faze him. If you look at both fighters, it'll look like Joshua won because of how tore up Usyk's face was. Yes, he got soft skin, but he got a hard chin. He got a hard chin, and he has heart. He got determination. He has will. He has all of the above, all of it. And I want to know, are people willing to admit that they were wrong? Are people willing to admit that their choices are always based on biases? I don't know if they are. I don't know if they're willing to. Because you wouldn't believe, I got called a dummy. I got called a dummy for picking Usyk. I got called a dummy. You don't know what you're talking about. You should have your boxing credentials taken away. You sound stupid. Ain't no way Joshua gonna come into this fight at home and let this man beat him. See, and that's the thing. Joshua didn't let him beat him. Joshua didn't let nothing happen. Joshua got beat. He got beat. There was nothing he could do. There's nothing you can do against a better man. There's nothing you can do in that situation. When you're facing a better man, he's always going to have your number. Always. That's the situation that we see going on with Wilder and Fury. The better man is going to prevail. Speaking of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, this match puts them on notice. It puts them on notice. Not only does it put the whole fight on notice, but it puts Deontay Wilder on notice. It puts him on notice. You know, like I've been saying and like others were saying, Usyk had no business beating Joshua. Over here in the States, they like to say that Tyson Fury has no business beating Deontay Wilder. How are you going to respond? Yes, you're going to tell people, I didn't pay attention to the fight. I didn't watch the fight. That fight has nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with this fight. What this fight showed, superior skills outweigh attributes all the time. Superior skill outweighs attributes all the time. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. I used to create fighters on fight night. I used to create them. They never was my height. I had 6'6" fighters, 235 pounds, power all the way on max. Speed was one of the things that you had to substitute. So power, balance, and chin. All right, I did all that. But those are just attributes. Where you get them skills from is from watching tape. Where you get those skills from is from the gym, from your trainers. Or your trainers putting you in a position to win. Or are they blowing smoke up your rear end? Now, this is a message for Mr. Wilder. Everything that you're learning, everything that you're utilizing in camp, is it to your benefit long term, or is it just for this fight? Because I hate to see you get into a situation where you doing all this training, you're so focused on revenge, you're so focused on getting your get back that you lose sight of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is not revenge. The bigger picture for the heavyweight division and for every other division is to be undisputed, not majority belt holder, not just a champion, but to be undisputed. If that's your goal, if that is your goal, then prove it in this fight. Because Usyk proved it. Usyk proved it. Usyk proved that he's daring to challenge greatness. He took the audacity to be great. He put it on full display for 12 rounds. Full display. Even when the man took off, he was still active. He was still showing boxing prowess. What more can you ask from a fighter? You know, earlier on the live, we said that everything that Usyk was doing was an American trainer's dream. That puts American fighters on notice. That puts American fighters on notice. It's not going to be pretty all the time. It's not going to be ugly all the time. But can you stick with the game plan? Stick with the game plan long enough for it to work. Can you? And boxing trainers, y'all are not out the woods on this either, though, because you're supposed to know your fighter, too. Not everybody's going to be able to fight like a Usyk. So remember that, too. But you could build that. You could build on what they naturally do. You could build on that. Like we were saying, what if Deontay Wilder had the skill set plus on addition the same power that he has now of Alexander Usyk? There will be nobody in the heavyweight division who would be able to touch this man. There will be nobody in boxing as it stands who would be able to even give him a run. Foot movement, speed, turning, sticking the jab in there. I want to have the statistics. I'm probably going to pull them up later on. But the amount of jabs that were thrown by Usyk was outstanding. You don't see that in a heavyweight fight. I can say the only other heavyweight I've seen with that recently is Tyson Fury. Jab, 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 jab. It's not so much more for power as it is to keep you the heck off of him. Keep him honest. Keep him honest. And when you're a one-trick pony, like I'm starting to notice that a lot of these heavyweights are. A lot of these heavyweights are just one-trick ponies. Just to be honest. There should be no reason for the top 5 heavyweights, and only 1 or 2 of them are actually skilled. Now, in the heavyweight division, before the fight, they had Usyk number 5. I don't see how you can't have him number 1. I don't see how you can't have him number 1 right now. Or at least number 1 until the fight next week or the week after. There's no way you can't have him number 1. And on pound for pound list, the pound for pound list, the most biased, and we're not going to get into that. That list, how can you not have him number 2? Show heavyweights some love. Show heavyweights love. Yes, the smaller guys, they have more competition to go through, but it's not easy up there in the heavyweight division. It's not easy up there. People hit a heck of a lot harder than they do down there. They do. You don't believe me? Watch some of these fights. Now, Usyk, you did it. Are you going to be complacent? Are you going to take the Andy Ruiz route? Or are you going to take this as a stepping stone? Or are you going to take this as a foundation to build your church of pain? That's what I want to see. I want to see this be the start of something great. I want to see this be the start of a new era of boxing, far as the cruiserweight and heavyweight division. I want to see more cruiserweights start coming up and challenging these heavyweights. I want to see that. This man went from undisputed champion to majority belt holder within a year in 2 weight classes. If he can do it, I'm pretty sure there's more cruiserweights that can do it. Heck, you know what? If Deontay Wilder was smart, he would actually go down. He would go down to cruiserweight. He would go down to cruiserweight and win undisputed. Because I'm pretty sure he could. I'm pretty sure he could. And then come back up and then get his belts back or whatever he needs to do. That's a plan. But are you willing to do that? Are you willing to put in that much work? Usyk's putting in that work. Wilder's, I don't know. I see old videos. I see old photos. I see everything that they want to put out. They don't want to show the ugly stuff. That's what I want to see. I want to see the ugly stuff. I want to see him dang near passing out while he's running. I want to see the days when he's talking about he quits. I want to see that. I've seen that in Usyk. I've seen that in Usyk's training. He wanted to quit, but he knows that he had to keep his eye on the prize. He knew what this win would do for him. Not only for him, but for his family. And most above all, for his country. That's a beautiful thing. And too many people don't even recognize these things. Only thing they think about here in America, in the States, is that check. That check. I would like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Slick 50.
What's good, everybody? What's happening?
Hola, senor.
Spanish Polo. My man.
Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful.
What's going on?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a beautiful fight. Beautiful. I want to jump in a little earlier, but I had to handle something. And Anthony Joshua's trainer defense. If you go watch the post fight, he wasn't happy with Joshua. He was like, when you throw 2 punches fighting a skilled boxer like Usyk, you got to come with more than that. Anthony Joshua was sitting over there looking like a school kid getting scolded.
Mm.
So they was telling him what to do. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He just wasn't doing it, which proves testament to what I said before this fight, maybe 2 days ago, or was it the day before, when I said we don't know what type of Joshua we're gonna get until he get hit.
Exactly.
And the thing that happened, I'm not gonna say luck. I'm not gonna say none of that. It just happened that every round that boy Usyk made sure he was first. In the first round, I don't believe Joshua even got one hit in. Or if it was, it wasn't flush. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I want to rewatch the fight because it's still unbelievable. But at the same time, when I saw him get hit flush with that left and he smiled, I said he in his head. Third round happened. He couldn't land that right. And that's when I said, did you see how he walked to that corner?
Mm-hmm.
His body was limp, like, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He never adjusted gears until
I believe
about
the
seventh round.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I felt he should have came out. But it was too late by then, because from the 7th, 8th, come to find out, he couldn't see since the 9th. See, Joshua couldn't see. His eye was done. Wow. So, he couldn't see. His trainer said it. They just didn't want to quit the fight.
But I think that's an excuse, though, because
Usyk no, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Look at it like this. That's a champion mentality to keep that fight going. He could have quit. He could have quit, but it explains why he should have quit. when he was wincing in the corner, he possibly he chose to do the post conference, but they were reason he walked out because they were supposed to go to the doctor. He may have has a fractured orbital.
Mm.
So when you got that, it explained how
Yeah.
quick it had swelled up like it was closing. Remember?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a champion's mentality. Most fighters quit, like BJ. He said, "Forget that, I quit." AJ kept going, so I give him props on that. But at the same time, it speaks testament to when they say Usyk didn't have, was his power gonna carry up? Well, it showed that it carried.
Mm-hmm.
It carried. Was this the perfect fighter for Usyk? Is the question now that I have for Usyk. Style makes fights. All right,
Mm-hmm.
style make fights. This could have just been the perfect guy for him. Even though he's big, burly, tall, who's to say if he getting there with a Dillian White, it may pose to be tougher.
Well, I
Dillian
don't.
White's a dog. Dillian
Yeah.
White's a dog. And I'm not saying, don't take it like I'm saying Dillian White may it go whoop his butt. I'm saying I don't. It may not be as clean as this fight.
Okay. I
So
mean, but Usyk has proven in the past that yes, he likes these fights, but these are not the type of fights that he prefers.
no,
If you look at his past 4 fights, excluding this one, these are not the type of fights that he prefers. He prefers what Dillian White would actually bring. He
well,
prefers
yeah,
that.
and he's his height, and that was another thing. I don't know what he was thinking about. Not fighting his height.
Mm-hmm.
He gave his height up.
Mm.
I think that's what messed his eye up. That's when he started really getting tagged. You know, those left hands was taking his toll on that man's face.
Do you believe it was a confidence thing?
Well, I feel like that's the thing about AJ. If he feel like he can't subdue you first, get his respect first, it's kind of like he I don't know. It's kind of like he's not into it no more. Almost like a kid who like
That's
if
not
you
a
ever play you
mentality.
you ever you ever you ever trained a kid like just not trained a kid but trying to show a little kid like look at somebody how to play basketball and they keep missing shots and they be like I don't want to play no more. I don't want to do this. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because they keep missing. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost in that sense. You know what I mean? Because his language when he walked back to that corner in the third round, I was like, why are you walking like that? Like it shows. And when you show that, you don't do nothing but boost the confidence of your opponent. Something
That's
that you're
true.
not supposed to show. Even if you are pressure, you're not supposed to show that to that man.
You never walk back to the corner with your head down.
Yeah, you don't do that. And then
You.
he kept hunkering over. I said that was mistake number one. Usyk want people his height. You fight tall, you got a better shot.
This is true.
But this goes to tell that when I tell everybody, shooting up is different and shooting down is different. If you've been fighting people who constantly your height, or whatever the case may be, or underskilled boxers in that matter, and you can hunk over like that, you know what I mean? It looks good then, but it proves worse later because you create a bad habit when you get in front of a person like Usyk. Because, like I said, Usyk is a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He may not be the greatest boxer. Nobody said that, even though he looked like that tonight. But he's not the greatest boxer. But boxers are proven to get rid of who? Brawlers.
Brawlers. You know, I put out a sentiment earlier, and I want to see if you agree with me on this. I think it's about time for more cruiserweights to start coming up and challenging.
Well, this is what's well. To be honest with you, this could start that. This could start that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People see Usyk doing it, and they're gonna say, "Why not?" Almost like UFC. Why not? Why not give it a shot? What do I got to lose? If I lose, I just go back down to my weight class,
Yeah.
right? Especially if
Yeah.
you ain't got no belt or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, it don't matter. It's just like Josh Taylor fighting at 147. He could do that. He ain't gonna put his belt on the line. He go right back down to 140. Right?
You're right.
You know, but the steps that people are missing that I want, like people act like we want to give him props because he beat Joshua. That's
No.
not what I'm giving Usyk props for. I'm giving Usyk props on constantly challenging himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody wants to give that man that. I felt he deserved that before the fight even took place. How many fighters that you could name actually went undisputed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even just unified, right?
Right.
And said, you know what? Ain't nobody else here for me. I'm gonna go up. How many can you say actually dominated in that fashion?
I could say just only one, and that's Terrence Crawford. But
What I'm saying is without I'm just like I say, that's why I said undisputed or unified.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I can
Mm-hmm.
name Terrence Crawford. I can name Usyk now. I can name Mayweather. But you only gonna get him on one hand. Pacquiao. You only gonna get him on one hand. And when
Yeah,
you get that, you supposed to recognize that, right?
that's
You-
special.
Yeah, because that says you really give a shit about your craft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not afraid. Usyk went in there ready to crash and burn.
He went
When
in
you
there
fight,
with a guy for the cause. Yeah,
yeah, when you fight someone like that, they got that kamikaze mentality. He gonna be hard to beat anyway. He ain't coming there to walk home.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? It was either I win or I die.
Yeah,
And he came in as a seeded. Now he's 19-0. Now everybody channel I watch. Now they're like, oh, Usyk was this, Usyk that. But just 2 days ago, Usyk was too small. Usyk gonna be out at 9. Usyk
and
gonna be out
everybody
at
who
6.
picked him was dumb
Usyk,
for picking him.
yeah, right. And now it's like everybody on his side. When you reach that level of mentality that that Usyk is at, a person like that is damn near unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same mentality that Mayweather had. No matter how many times we could say his fights was picked for him or whatever the case, he still had to go in there and fight.
He did. That's true.
He had to go in there and fight without doubt. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you have that mentality, it's gonna be hard to beat that guy.
That
It
that
really is.
that you or me mentality. It
Hmm.
it gets a lot of things done.
Hmm.
It gets a lot of things done. It gets a lot of things accomplished.
Yeah,
And I wish more American fighters, had that psyche to them.
yeah.
Instead of worrying about the next check or how big the pay-per-view numbers are going to buy this or that, focus on being great. Everything else will come.
Having saying that, the difference between UK boxing and here is the hype is driven before the fight. Here, as you saw, the hype was given and the walking.
Mm-hmm.
The hype was given then. Yeah, they had interviews and stuff, but they ain't have like major ish talking and I'm gonna do this to you and all that. They didn't need that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an understanding that this is a sport. I don't have to be mad. I don't have to showboat. Just made the best man win.
Mm-hmm. A
You
true
know,
sport.
right? And I think they looked at it from that aspect. And also, UK fighters don't hold on to the old like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Or if that was the case, we wouldn't have Dillian White, Chisora, or any of them. They
Mm-hmm.
still wouldn't be recognized. They're recognized by UK because even though they lost, those are, to them are great warriors. They recognize their warrior spirit before they lost.
And
They
see,
recognize that they go in there and give they all.
I can say for a fact that's something that is lacking in America. The
Yeah,
appreciation for the warrior, the appreciation for the guy who's willing to go out on his shield. That's why anybody who comes over here to In the Red Corner or on GMT whenever I'm over there or in the judges table, you know that we hold Sean Porter in high regard for that fact.
Yeah.
We hold him in high regard, for, especially explicitly for that fact.
Right.
And if every other American boxer had that same mentality, I'm not saying that there's some that don't, but it's to where the American fighter is turning boxing into a novelty over here compared to what it is over there.
It's more about the money first. Let's look at it like this. And Joshua said something very at his post conference. He said, will you go for the rematch? He said, yeah, I'm already thinking about going to training and all of that. But he was like, I want to say something to you. Would you watch me with or without them belts? And the reporter said, it don't matter if you got them or not. He said, exactly. So it's cool to chase being unified. That's a boxer's dream. That's making history. I get that. But I do this. So whether if I got them belts or not, you going to see me again. It don't matter. Now, I took two things from that. I took that he really do like what he does. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He said this was a learning experience. He also admit I'm on the go training, which I'm glad that he admitted that, because after the Klitschko, he won that fight. It was like, okay, now this dude's just automatically a superstar. And that's not the case, because I was like, how is he automatically a superstar when we watched Tyson Fury whoop Klitschko, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he understands that the fast pace that he's on, he's learning as he goes. He even see it. When you get to the high caliber fighters, you can stun them, but it's not like fighting lower tier fighters where I can hit him and he just gone. When you get up to high caliber fighters, they know how to ride a punch. They know how when to clinch. They know, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was breaking it down to him, but he was like, this was a learning curve, and I'm going to take what out from this fight. He said, I was already watching the replay in the locker room.
Mm.
So I get it to him. So the belts ain't that important to him. It's important to the people who hype that up. You get what I'm saying? It was like, I'll still fight a Tyson Fury. He said, I'm still going to fight Tyson Fury. He's like, I'm still going to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm still going to do it whether I had the belts or not. And another fun fact, he didn't have to fight Usyk. He could have dropped the WBO and made up $100 million fighting Tyson Fury or Deontay.
Mm.
Right? He made $30 million today. So that he knew he was taking the shot. He knew what he was up against. Just like we said, we gave him that. I think he respects Usyk. He said he modeled himself when he fought Ruiz too the second time off of Usyk. So he knew what he was going in. So that told me, even though he came in there and didn't put the best performance on, that he wanted to test himself too.
You said something that stood out to me. Something that pulled on my heartstrings a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fact that he loves what he does.
Right.
Win or lose, he still loves what he does.
Right.
And I'm starting to question the love for the sport here. Because the more and more I watch a PBC fight or I watch a top rank fight compared to watching a DAZN fight, I notice the subtle differences in the appreciation of the sport. Yes.
Yeah. The countries.
Yeah.
The countries.
The people that are in the, just starting out, the 16-0s and all that different type of jazz, they truly love it. They truly love it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get up there to the 29s and the 30s and things like that, it seems like their love and regard for the sport has steadily went away to where it's more of a cash grab than a way of life, because that's the Warriors' way of life. Nutrition, feeding your mind, feeding your body, and feeding your spirit. That's the Warriors' way. And I see that more across the pond and from the lower tier fighters in America compared to the upper echelon. Would you care to speak on that?
Yeah, it's more like what you're saying is UK fighters got a more of an understanding that the money gonna come. Improve your greatness, the money gonna come regardless. Over here, it's more diluted once you want to become a superstar, and then without accomplishing greatness, you think you're just supposed to already get paid. And it's backwards. And we know, just to give a firm example, Terrence Crawford, undisputed at 140, dropped the belts the very next day, went up, second fight, gets a belt, right? And
Right.
all that happens to that man is he gets discounted. People talk about that man as if he hasn't been calling out the top dogs, right? He was calling Manny Pacquiao. That didn't happen. He went on calling everybody else. Nobody wants to give him a chance. They came with all these terms, cross the street, all that. Remember?
Yes.
Instead of revering him as a successful boxer that went up to challenge himself, all you hear is that who has he fought? Right?
That seems like
That's
a
the
promoter.
that's the backwardness. No, I'm talking about from a fan standpoint. That's
Yeah.
the backwardness. Okay. Over there, when that happens, you're congratulated. See what I'm saying? That would have made you that star. They would have understood that. He went up. Fans would have been like, you gotta fight him. Those fans would have been like, Earl, you gotta fight him. Just for some
Earl,
fact, he
don't
hunting
show
you
your face
down.
until you fight him again. Don't show your face until you fight him. We don't want to hear from you until you fight him. Earl, where you at?
Right. So that's how it would have been over there. Over here, you could pick and choose who you want to fight, when you want to fight them. You know, plain and simple. You know what I mean? I think boxers over there, when they say it's up to my team who they put in front of my face, I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna go at them. I think it's more so there. How many times we've heard Teofimo, who you want to fight next? Well, it's up to my team. You know, who they put in my face, that's who I'm fighting, right? And then all of a sudden the fighters say, I don't want to fight him. You see what I'm saying?
Hear that
You got Devin Haney. What'd you say?
We hear that a little too often.
Right. You got Devin Haney and both of his mandatory fighting each other. How does that work? Right? That shouldn't be allowed to happen. Over there, that probably will be laughed at.
That is laughed at. I'm pretty sure that is laughed at. That's why, how do I say this? Because I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a statement. It doesn't have any empirical fact to it whatsoever. I think American fighters are respected, but when it comes to holding in regard of being the champion and all that, it's kind of looked down upon or laughed at because the best aren't fighting the best.
Go to sleep.
People think that I have a problem with Tank Davis. I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him. I wish the young man all the success in the world. I've talked about this. I love Tank. I love what he brings to the sport of boxing. But when you're not fighting top level competition and you're picking and choosing who to fight, when to fight them, and how to fight them, doesn't that diminish your greatness? Doesn't that make you feel some type of way as a fighter?
Well, here's my thing with that. I think it's more of a promoter protecting his interests, right? And Tank is one of those people where whoever they put in front of him, he's gonna fight him. You get what I'm saying?
But shouldn't the fighter have some kind of say-so in their own future?
See, now right here. Now, here we go. Now, this is where, like I say, where's your finicky on the American side? Because you have the ones who will say, I'm not fighting him, right? They don't catch that type of flack. And I think it's because they're opening their mouth, right? Even though the fighter, they're saying that they're not going to fight, they should be fighting. Versus Tank not opening his mouth and just doing what he's paying his promoter to do, right?
Right.
I feel like also Tank needs to find a home. I think when Tank finds that home, he'll dominate that home. I think most people with Tank, they love him because he's exciting and explosive, with the novice fan or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But for people like me and you, we see greatness in Tank, and we just want to be able to see him display that greatness before he gets too old. Nobody wants to see a great fighter or a potential fighter that could be great jump up and down and weight all over and not able to get the recognition because the people he's jumping up and down fighting
El
aren't
Selector,
working there.
who are you? If you don't mind, could you show your face for a little while before I put you on? I don't want to, because people have been doing some weird stuff lately. I just want to make sure that you're an actual person.
So you get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So in that regard of Tank, I like Tank. If Tank was to say I'm gonna stay at what was that 147,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. And long as he gonna start taking on he ain't gonna have no choice to take on quality opposition at 147. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, where Tank is, he should be fighting, you know, people on his level and then taking somebody a little tougher, but it's hard to do that when you don't got a home. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So finding a home is first. I'm not for the way they do boxes now where they feel like Devin Haney probably taking it like he just beat Linares, bro. Like they already ready for him to take on another marquee fight like that. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like he should be taking on a marquee fight right away. How about learning from Linares, implement new things, and take a person on his level, and then take another marquee fight.
Oh.
Build your fighter up. It's like when you gave the reference of what game was that? Fight night, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, El Sector, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just here chiming in. I was ready to chime in with you guys. Saw you guys you guys were live, so I was like, let me see what's up, man. You guys are
Oh,
speaking
right
some real
on.
good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you think about this fight between Usyk and Joshua?
Honestly, I thought it was a good fight overall. Personally, I think it's a lot of people are. I think it wasn't as wide as people are putting it out to be. Like a lot of people are saying Anthony Joshua basically got washed. The reality was it was a very close fight. I had it very closer than what was presented.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I can show you that Anthony Joshua did show a lot of flaws in his technique. So basically, Anthony Joshua, there was a lot of things Anthony Joshua should have done in preparation for the fight, and a lot of things that he didn't do during the fight that contributed to this L. But case in point, Anthony Joshua came in at like what 240?
Yeah, 240.
So, yes.
240. This guy came in at 220. So this guy's not even a natural heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight. Anthony Joshua should have basically came in there at like damn near 280 and literally just walk right through him. This guy's fought several couple heavyweights past. He fought Chisora. He didn't look that impressive against Chisora. The other gentleman he fought, he didn't look that impressive either. These are guys Anthony Joshua literally walked through on a bad day. He could walk through them. You see what I'm saying?
Well, can I push back for a second? I mean, we all know the old moniker in boxing: styles make fights. Styles always make fights, and I believe that the style that Alexander Usyk brings to the table is the counter to what Anthony Joshua brings to the table. More of a straightforward fighter.
Not only that, Usyk came in southpaw.
Yeah, he came in southpaw. You saw Anthony Joshua having issues with that. He kept tripping over his foot and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so he had issues with that. Also, the other thing too is Anthony Joshua's trainers they're not good trainers. The guy he has there, the UK guy McCracken, he's not doing a good service for Anthony Joshua.
Well,
Anthony Joshua doesn't know how to fight with angles. He doesn't know how to fight with angles. Also, he doesn't know how to fight backwards. He can't fight.
That's true. All of that's true. But that all of that just attests to 2 points on me. It all attests to how they fast tracked him. Okay, he was fast tracked right after he beat Klitschko. Right, he was already still kind of green in. You know what I mean? And he even admitted that he learning on the job. Right, and for McCracken, he was kind of, you could tell like it was a little bit of tension at the post fight because he just said it. He was like, when you it was like, what could he done different? He was like, there was nothing to do different other than when you throw one punch, two punch, you gotta come back with something behind that. So in other words, that was really directed to Joshua. Like they must have been telling him something and he wasn't doing it.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
we've seen this coming though. Like this is a telltale sign. We saw this with the Andy Ruiz fight, right? When he fought Andy Ruiz the first time, he couldn't even fight with his hands up. The guy couldn't even put his hands above his face. That's all testament to his trainer. What did Tyson Fury do when he fought what's it called? Deontay Wilder the first time? He said, you know what? I fought him. Potentially I might have won, but they gave me a draw. I don't think if I fight him the same way I fought him the last time, I don't think I'm going to be able to win. So what did he do?
Right.
He caught a plane ticket. He bought a plane ticket for whatever amount it was. He flew his ass to Detroit, Michigan, and he went to go see Sugar Hill. And the rest was history. That's all you have to do. Anthony Joshua has the wrong trainers. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. When it comes to boxing,
I can't necessarily. Well, I can't say that because I don't know no other boxers that McCracken has. So
that's the problem. That's the problem. He doesn't have any other boxers. This is the only boxer, Anthony Joshua. He was an amateur boxer prior to this.
Only do so. I feel you, but you can only do so much with a guy if they're not going to listen. And like I said, that third round, when he caught that left hand flush from Usyk, right? Did you pay attention to his body language when he walked back to that corner?
Listen, I understand that standpoint. You're 100% right. His body language was straight garbage. Anthony Joshua throughout the whole fight, leading to the fight, was taking pictures with him, smiling, giggly, very bubbly with Usyk. That's not how you prepare for a fight of your life. You could potentially die in the ring. You know what I mean? You potentially, if you're a warrior, you can't take your opponent lightly. When you go into that fight, you got to be very serious. You got to be literally like your spider senses got to be all over, like just tingling. You even him getting close to you, think something he might try to do something to you. So Anthony Joshua, that's a problem. Anthony Joshua doesn't have the right training staff around.
So are you saying? Let me ask you. So are you saying that if Anthony Joshua just didn't have the right training, and this is why the fight went?
Bro, the fight was virtually. Look how close. It was so close. It was the last couple of rounds where it was decided virtually. That's how close this fight.
I didn't have it like that. I didn't have it like that.
I had it. There was a lot of shots Usyk was missing.
I gave at the most, I gave him 4 rounds and maybe a 5th one.
Thank you. That's very close. 4 to 5 rounds. Imagine if he got the last 2. Imagine if he got those last 2, especially that final round. He could have potentially won it, or it could have been a draw. Remember, he's the house fighter.
Now that right there, I probably would say it was a draw. And hold on. And first, before I dispute the rounds with you, I was very adamant. If you caught our show the day before, I was like, politics gonna play into this. Did that not, Polo? Yeah. I felt like they was not gonna let Usyk take the belt. You know what I'm saying? With all the potential future money that would have, you know what I'm saying? You know how boxing is. I was like, boxing gonna have to go in there and really do some harm to that man. You know what I'm saying? For it to be where it's undeniable. And, and I even though what I saw, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they was gonna either make it a draw, you know what I'm saying, or just say Anthony won. But I can't take away one man's faults and say the other man didn't deserve it. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that either. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the fight and you break it down, there was you could see so many ways Anthony Joshua could have potentially won that fight, especially at the end. It was literally up for grabs. You look at the end of the fight, he couldn't even get out of his stool. He was literally sitting on his stool.
No, he was gassed. He was done. He looked terrible. He messed up. He messed up early, but kind of find out in the ninth round, his eye was shot.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Listen, he needs to find. He can't even fight with his hands up. Look at. He doesn't even protect himself. There's certain things that are just. There's so many flaws there as a boxer. Let's be real. We all been watching boxing forever now, right? So it's like we've seen so many different kinds of fights, and we see how styles make fights, and we see how adjustments and just certain little small things can add to a fighter to make him much more better than what he is. Anthony Joshua, great fighter. But the problem is he has a horrible training. Robert McCracken is not the right trainer for Anthony Joshua at this point in his
Well,
career. It happens. It happens.
it happens. It happens. I
Yeah,
agree.
I see.
And I can agree with that. I see that's why people change trainers. But at the same time, I think it's also a mental problem with AJ.
But that's the thing, though. It could be a mental problem, right? But at the same time, with the right trainer and the right member, you sit down in the film room, you sit down with the trainer, you fix certain things, you can get a lot of things taken care of. There's a lot of stuff I've seen boxers switch up so many different times. You've seen guys who lost first fights and then come back with a new trainer, and all of a sudden, bro, it's like a whole new fighter. That's all it takes. And I think Anthony Joshua has a guy who's never even trained professional. This is the first professional boxer he's ever had.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Who is out there would be the best trainer for Anthony Joshua right now in his career?
Yo, he could go to Sugar Hill. He could go to Floyd Senior.
That's the only one.
He could go to Floyd Senior. He can go. There's. He could go to what's this guy's name over there? The Mexican guy over here. What's his face?
Ryan Garcia.
No, Ryan Garcia's coach. What's his name over here? You know what I'm talking about.
Robert Garcia.
Robert Garcia. There's a lot of guys out there that could deal with Joshua.
But I'll tell you, the only person that can do it, that got the game from his daddy, is Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
What about Virgil?
That's the only one.
What about Virgil?
No, Virgil don't deal with tall, lanky fighters. Emmanuel was the king of it. Emmanuel Stewart made Klitschko.
Lennox Lewis. Remember Lennox Lewis?
Lennox Lewis, all tall fighters. That's what he like, big, tall fighters, and that's why Sugar Hill does good with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was right to go get. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To go get Sugar Hill. It was a perfect fitting. You know what I'm saying? Because the trainer he had before, one of the little young cat, I can't remember his name, but he wanted to lose all that weight and all that, and it was the wrong thing. He couldn't absorb the punches. He couldn't do that. His father, Tyson Fury, father even said that. My son ain't never been that light a day in his life. You took all his power away from him. Showing up the second fight, he came in, what was it, 280, 260, something like that, and steamrolled him. I agree with you on that. But in this fight, what I was saying to AJ, he was supposed to lay the being the type of fighter AJ is. He never had the best boxing skills, first off. He was more of a brawler, just a big, burly brawler that looks to land heavy punches. He should have came in and got his respect first. You see what I'm saying? He came in trying to box with Usyk. That was his biggest mistake. Then when that didn't work, it showed that he couldn't land the right punches because he wasn't used to shooting down with it. So what did he do? Make himself eye level. That was a mistake. And I think also they watched a lot of tape that they know that AJ don't like being agitated. If you pay attention through that whole fight, what did he do? What did Usyk do the most? Kept knocking that man with his left hand down, didn't he? Kept knocking his left hand. He wasn't even punching. He just kept knocking it out, kept knocking it out, kept knocking it out, just to agitate him.
Frustrating him.
You don't like it's like the little stuff with AJ is mental, and like I said, you may be right about cracking, but I see a lot of mental where he feels like if he can't get his one off, because there was no way for real. Let's be honest. There was being the reach that Anthony Joshua had, and big as he is, there was no way Usyk should have got off first every round.
Right.
Valid point. That's what I'm saying. Valid point. Yo, bro, this fight, Anthony Joshua should have knocked him out maybe within like the 7th round, 8th round.
And that's where everybody had it. But I kept telling everybody, it's a mental thing with that man. That's how Andy got him. Once you get in his kitchen, he don't know how to fight inside.
But also too, don't you think also it's also with the trainer as well? Because a lot of times, a lot of trainers,
that's what I'm saying.
These trainers, if this is your first pro fighter, bro, you've never seen it. You're going through. You're learning on the job. So there's certain styles you've never seen. There's certain type of fighters you've never seen. And with the trainer who has a lot of experience, they've seen it all. They've been in the game forever. This guy's he was an amateur boxer in Britain. It's not even like he was an amateur boxer in Mexico or anything like that. So majority of his styles he sees are British boxing styles.
Right, but I agree. I'm not saying that.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that it might not be him. Yeah. I mean, but I agree. It's just like Devin Haney Daddy stepped down.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's time for him to get a better trainer. I only could train him so far. I totally agree with that.
See, everything that you guys are saying, I could compare it to football. with certain teams, they can only listen to one voice for so long before it's time for an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Like your Green Bay Packers. How long did they listen to Mike McCarthy before it was time for a change of
Right. Yeah,
you know
right,
what I'm
exactly.
saying? And everybody who has a favorite football team, y'all have been there for the transition from coaches because you start to see little dumb things, little ticky-tack fouls that shouldn't have it, pass interference calls, holding calls, little things like that shouldn't ever happen, that didn't happen the year before because the players have kind of tuned out that coach. What
kind of like that Jimmy Johnson thing, right, Polo?
That it's time. It is time for Anthony Joshua to get a new voice in his ear, a new trainer, somebody who can show him something different than what he's seeing right now. And I can't help but to agree with that point. It's time
I agree with it. I just don't want this to wash out the success of what Usyk had, though. Usyk did try for what he was going to have in front of him.
Nobody's taking away anything from Usyk because he still had to get into the ring. He still had to perform. All we're saying is that Joshua needs something different. He needs to reinvent himself. He needs to take the time to clear his head. Instead of jumping right into the rematch, figure out your flaws. Figure out who works on those flaws to make you your strengths.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, because the flaws is pretty much the same. He needs to learn how to fight inside, and he needs to learn how to find his range a whole lot quicker.
And you also got to fight back. You got to learn how to fight backwards, man. And you got to learn how to. He got to learn how the angles and stuff. The other guy you saw him moving with the angles. You saw his footwork. His footwork was especially early in the fight very, very impeccable. And even when he started to fade, the Usyk guy, you started to see him. He caught back. He got back into it. Like over, you know what I mean? He didn't just fade out and just lose a fight like we've seen many fighters do in the past.
Yeah,
he got back into it.
What they call a fade, that was just taking a round off.
Yeah, bro, let me tell you something, bro. Honestly, man, if Anthony Joshua is, you could tell he's a very intelligent guy. You know what I mean? He seems a very humble guy. He seems like a guy who gets it in life. You see what I'm saying? He's the type of guy, I'm sure if you brought him to the gym, he wouldn't bring you no tardiness or nothing. He would come in there prepared and ready to work. He has that personality. So the only thing is like I said prior, the trainer. If he can get another trainer, bro, I guarantee you, and he gets the right guy, like maybe like a Sugar Hill, Anthony Joshua will probably never lose a fight until he retires.
I can't say that because that nigga. One thing that people seem to not realize that dude chin is very suspect. Not been saying that.
But listen, there's a lot of boxers that have suspect chins, but they could fight through that. They could fight through adversity. I've seen Muhammad Ali had a suspect chin.
But not like Anthony, man.
No. I think I've seen Muhammad Ali go down more than Anthony, bro. I'm keeping it a
well. Anthony's still fresh though. Well, I'm talking about Anthony gets tapped. I'm not saying getting stole on and fall. I'm talking about Anthony gets tapped, and he gets to go buckle. He gets the back pedal.
You're right. You're valid point. But the reality is, though, how many times has he really? Maybe a couple times we've seen him go down. A few times. But let's be real.
But I'm saying, that's all it takes. Like, do you think? Okay, let's for instance.
But with a good trainer, defensively,
with a good trainer, they're gonna teach him how to tuck his chin.
Exactly.
They're gonna teach him stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, the blueprint was given when Ruiz knocked him down. If you get inside on him, he don't know what to do. It's like you say, he don't know how to fight going backwards. He don't know how to fight inside. You know what I mean? He's just big. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree. Another trainer may be great, but somebody just be feeling like they got to be loyal. And in this aspect, I don't know Eddie. Now I know Eddie probably gonna talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, you just inked a lifetime deal with us.
Yeah.
So they can't have him losing. They can't have him.
Eddie, the only one that's gonna keep it real with him though at this point.
Yeah.
Willie though.
Yeah, they signed. Yeah, because he signed that lifetime deal. That's his cash cow. Now I didn't sign a lifetime deal with you, dude. I can't have a lifetime deal with a loser.
That's the thing, though. We don't know, though. Like we don't know what Eddie Hearn's. If I was Anthony Joshua, I wouldn't put my faith in Eddie Hearn, bro. What he has to do is he has to look at everybody around him, and then he has to make a decision on what he got to do, bro.
Well, what I'm saying is
Eddie Hearn ain't in the ring.
No. I'm saying Eddie Hearn will be the one to tell you might want another trainer because he done invested so much in him. Eddie Hearn and Maxbrook, they invested all their money into him.
Right. Yeah.
So if anybody gonna tell him, I bet you it'd be Eddie.
All right.
You know
Hey,
what I mean?
everybody, we're at the 1 hour point. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's come through. Everybody's in the chat. Everybody is listening abroad. This is the Red Corner.
I don't know nothing about numbers. I just know what I can do. How about killing this mother?
Okay.
All right, with part two, hour two, getting into this discussion of the heavyweight division and everything that's going on. Does this fight have major implications on the fight that is happening October 9th between Wilder and Fury?
Yeah, it does. But it's all gonna be based off that rematch. If he's advised to go ahead and let's get this rematch going, then that puts a hold on, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If he's advised to say, hey, because like I say in the post conference, the reporter asked him, are you going for the immediate rematch? He said, yeah, and then he also rebutted, would you watch me with or without those belts? He was like, and the reporter said, yeah, I'll watch you with or without him. He was like, okay, then. So he was like, it's cool to want to be undisputed. It makes history and all that. He was like, but I'll still fight Fury. I'll still fight Deontay with or without them belts. So it's telling me he's thinking about not doing it. He's thinking about not doing it. I mean, to be real, because those fights are still there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he feel like it's too much pressure on him. Maybe, who knows? Like you said, he learning on the job. Like I said, I feel like Josh has been fast tracked. You know what I'm saying? He been a star since he beat Klitschko, and they made it seem like he beat the boogeyman. But like I said, we had already saw Klitschko fall. You know what I mean? So go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think for the UK though, because he did win the gold medal in the Olympics for the UK, right? And that was in the London Olympics. Is that correct? Yeah, so that's a lot of prestige right there. So he's basically a huge deal in the UK over there. So I think he was a star from the day he won that Olympics for that country. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they use that to fast track. You get what I'm saying? Over here you can have a gold medal. It's not gonna be like, oh, he's a gold medalist, we gonna fast track him. It don't work like that over there. Over there, they fast track him. And he kind of said that in so many words, like, I'm learning on the job. You get what I'm saying? You don't get to have those in between little bitty fights to improve. Every fight this man takes is considered a big fight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, valid point. But I think maybe he needs to fall back for a bit. Maybe he needs to just give himself some time. You see what I'm saying? I think personally, I think the best thing he could do is just literally be like, all right, you know what? Let me come back next year, but let me head out to the TMT gym. Let me head out to the Crunk gym. Let me head out to the gyms out in Houston over there. Let me head out to the gyms out in New York over there. You see what I'm saying? Let me get around different trainers. Let me get around different people. Let me start sparring over there and just getting active and just seeing different styles and stuff instead of being around here with the same styles I be seeing all the time, the same voices and stuff like that.
Right. So if he get with Sugar Hill will work on the stamina one.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Yeah. And that's a big issue with him too. His stamina.
Because, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, honestly, I think if he fought Wilder, I think Wilder would probably end him. And if he fought Tyson Fury would make humiliate him.
Now Tyson Fury, I would agree with you. Now Wilder, it'll be looking like two dudes just trying to land a money punch.
And I think Wilder would hit him. Wilder would hit him really good too. Wilder got a 92% knockout ratio, so Deontay Wilder will hit him. Bro, and you already know his chin is not there, right? So
numbers, but see, we gotta remember numbers. I know they say numbers don't lie, but numbers do lie. I've been calling Deontay every time this dude Deontay fights a boxer, ever since Spilker. Remember Spilker? Ever since Spilker, he's been around boxing. And once he got to Spilker, he got rocked. When he went to Luis Ortiz, he had problems. He's just like AJ. They not built for boxers because they've been taught that they're big enough, they're strong enough, and all you gotta do is land these power punches. You get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Now,
go ahead.
Now, when I see what we're gonna get out of Wilder this time, that's what I'm hoping that he does improve. I'm hoping he improves. You get what I'm saying? But nevertheless, like we say, style may fight. Deontay may bring the best out of AJ. He just may. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this might have been Usyk night. You know what I'm saying? He looked very good against AJ, but put him in there with a Dillian White. May look like a totally different Usyk. You see what I'm saying? Just like the first two heavyweights Usyk fought. It wasn't pretty, but he pulled out the win. But in this fight, he looked superior. You see what I'm saying? He looked like the vet. He looked like you know what I'm saying? Like he done fought AJ before or something. So I don't know, man. I kind of feel like you're right in a sense where I think AJ needs to take time off, reflect. Let's go see about this trainer, check this trainer, see what fits. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even bring in an advisor. You know what I'm saying? Find you a big man. You know what I'm saying? That's good. Like George Foreman be extending his hand out to everybody. Teach you how to use them big muscles and not leverage yourself leaning forward and hunching over and putting yourself in harm's way. Learn how to use your height. You know what I mean? All of that. Don't get desperate, start throwing a flicking jab. And I don't know. AJ was promising, but like I said, I just feel like he was fast tracked. I feel like he was pushed into the fire too fast, so to speak. You know, he didn't have a chance to build up. Like I said, every fight that man takes is a big fight. He's one of the only fighters that you can name that don't have those little bitty in between fights. You feel me?
Now I see where you're coming from on that standpoint. But remember, though, he is in the heavyweight division, right? So the heavyweight division, you're getting heavy hitters, right? Like that's what it is. What is it's there? That's what's there. You see what I'm saying? At that, and then remember too, he's with Matchroom, right? So he can only fight a certain I guess a core or whatever they could feed him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is a lot of politics when it comes to the promotional side of things.
That's
You see what I'm
right,
saying?
exactly. That's the main thing that I hate. I hate
Mm.
I swear this is a sport I love and I love to hate sometimes. That politics, bro. Because like I said, they had remember that time they had got him Charles Martin. That was about the weakest guy that he fought. And after that, he ain't fought nobody else. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, valid point. I see where you're coming from. Honestly, I think Al Heyman did a disservice to Deontay Wilder by feeding Charles Martin to AJ. He should have gave Charles Martin to Deontay Wilder, man.
Right. But to be fair though, Deontay had a lot of fish.
No,
Easy pickings. You know what I'm saying? Until he got to Spilka, Luis Ortiz, you know what I'm saying?
but the
And
thing with Charles,
he
mm-hmm,
pulled them out on desperation. None of that was skill. I
mm-hmm.
get that he has a 98% ratio, but it showed when he gets to boxers, he's not fluid. That's why, like for instance, people don't realize when he chose to fight Tyson Fury, he thought Fury was gonna be a stepping stone. And what I mean is he chose Fury because Fury had the height, right? He didn't think Fury was a superior boxer for one. He just knew it was a good stepping stone to fight somebody like that because he knew AJ was about just as tall, right? Just as heavy. So why not test my waters with this cat first before I go fight an AJ? But it turned around on him. This is when you don't do your homework. You see what I'm saying? All they saw was a guy who beat Klitschko, went home, started doing drugs. He was heavy. You know what I'm saying? He came back and he fought two tomato cans. And now I know he can't beat me because he ain't fought nobody. And then you end up getting that.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Wilder gave him life, man. That was the problem with Wilder. He wasn't even ranked. Remember, he wasn't even on any rankings until Deontay
No.
Wilder entertained him. And that's the problem. I think Al Heyman's done a disservice for Deontay Wilder because Charles Martin at the time had the title. And
Right.
Deontay Wilder could have easily defeated Charles Martin and hold two different
Right.
titles. But instead they gave him to AJ. I get it. Eddie Hearn and them offered Charles Martin like $7 million and everything like that. But in the
Right.
grand scheme of things, what the hell is $7 million when you have literally the most marketable heavyweight champion since I guess Mike Tyson in the United States. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Right.
they just didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know. Even though I get it, he's a flawed fighter. Like, come on, there's certain things there that we see that he fought. Was it Gerald Washington, right? Ex NFL player, and it was just kind of like he was losing literally rounds upon rounds upon rounds upon rounds until he gave him the big one, right? So we know he
Right.
is a flawed fighter, but at the same time, though, it's just like, bro, like you gotta do something better. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta go to the drawing board and be more calculated when you're dealing with, just like Eddie Hearn does for AJ. Eddie Hearn and them are very calculated on how they move Anthony Joshua. That's why Anthony Joshua got all these big deals. He's a corporation. You see all the sponsorships he has. You see him.
Right.
He's like
Oh, yeah.
he's right up there with the Cristiano Ronaldos and the Messis in Europe over there. Those guys are superstars. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Exactly.
he's a superstar across the pond and going into Asia and Africa and all these other places around the world over there. So they know how to market. And they know how to. They could have done the same thing for Deontay Wilder. Mike Tyson was a superstar.
Well, that's because, but see, the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
well, Mike Tyson kind of made himself the superstar, but at the same time, though, I
Yeah,
get what you're saying. It's a different time of era too, but at the same time, that the reason it doesn't work that well over there, boxing is their number two sport behind soccer.
valid point.
Over here, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, you got baseball, basketball, football,
But
and
remember though,
everything else, tennis, and then boxing. You know what I'm
per,
saying?
personality sell though. If you could sell, you could. It's how you package an individual. You don't have to. Boxing doesn't have to be the hottest sport in the game. Tiger, when golf was popping, right? A lot of black people didn't watch golf, right? But Tiger Woods, he made golf hot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
So
he didn't do it by
Wilder can make
he didn't
boxing
do it
hot.
by play. This is why you need PR because he didn't. Tiger Woods didn't do it by doing it by throwing the race card.
No, he
That'll
didn't.
cripple you. That ain't nobody want to touch you with that.
Nah, he
You get
did.
what I'm saying?
He did with his skills. You're right. And he was
You
a
know,
prodigy. He was a young prodigy at the time.
right? You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
when he threw that race card, that kind of dampened everything. You know what I mean? Go in there and whoop his. That's what I want to hear. Market yourself. You ain't. Even Mayweather. Make them love you, make them hate you. But guess what? Everybody either they gonna want to see you lose or they gonna want to see you win. Everybody gonna tune in. That's the way
Exactly.
to go. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? But when you throw the race card out there like that, then you getting your ass whooped.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ball game. Now
Yeah.
with Malik Scott, I ain't gonna lie. I'm hoping what I see, right, proves dividends. But I'm not gonna lie. I hate that in the contract that they have to fight now because I wish it was some space in there somewhere where Deontay can take a tomato can and try to exercise those skills that he been taught. You see what I'm saying? It's different
Yeah.
being sparring than actually being on the lights with another boxer that you don't know. You see what I'm saying?
It's true, but
So
it's true, but
now now
go
you
ahead.
putting as they say you putting all now that as they say you putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, no, I
You see
see
what
where
I'm
you're
saying?
coming from. I see where you're coming from. I think the thing with Deontay Wilder though was they Tyson Fury had to pay him. It was a part of contractual. It was a part of the contract there. And then on top of that too,
Yeah.
you can't trust Tyson Fury. The guy's very wish washy. You see his personality, right? This guy will tell you, "Oh, I'm retiring tomorrow." He's the type of guy I wouldn't even be shocked if he just
He
disappeared
played
from
mind
boxing.
games.
Yeah,
He played
exactly.
mind games, bro.
So, and he's the type of guy who would run to a facility and say he's gone crazy, and then months later come out and say everything's good. So he could play, and Wilder will be left in limbo. You see what I'm saying? So Wilder's like, let me just get this guy out the way at ASAP.
Well,
And
he has no choice. They have to fight.
yeah,
That's the thing. Even if Deontay say, "I want to fight somebody different," he can't. They have to fight each other. It was a different breach of contract. Like AJ can actually say that he don't want this rematch right now. A lot of people don't know that De La Hoya had a rematch clause. He just didn't exercise it.
against
It's a
Mayweather.
different, huh? Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, in theirs, it was like automatic. You're not fighting nobody if I lose. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And the split would just flip flop. It will go, you get 60 next time, then I take 40. You get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So, so that's the way they had constructed their stuff. You know what I mean? Which I was like, wow. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie. Like I keep saying, I want Deontay to win. But from what I saw, just based on the last fight, I I don't see it. Now, if this training improves, that like I say, I'm hoping all this training and all the stuff they changing up, my friends teaching them how to go to the body, teaching them how to take a step backwards, throw a check hook, all that stuff. I'm hoping all that proves dividend. But we see boxers time after time. For instance, tonight, all of a sudden, AJ in the what, seventh, eighth round, all of a sudden he want to go back to old AJ, start throwing haymakers. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everything's a power punch. That's when mentally you gave up on the game plan. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that same thing is going to happen to Deontay. With Deontay coming there trying to do what Malik Scott trained him, and it doesn't, he feel like it's not working, and he go right back into old Deontay. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
That that's what I want to know. That's what I'm dying to see more so of him fighting Tyson Fury. I want to see him improve. And one thing Malik Scott did say that was uh that was true. What people like I said, I follow fighters from the jump. You see what I'm saying? Deontay had power in his left hand and his right hand. You see what I'm saying? He had a
Yeah.
decent jab. He didn't have the best footwork at all. You know what I'm saying? Ever. This is when Deontay had the little beady beads on his head, the Kevin Durant. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had all of that. But somewhere down the line, he fed into the hype of that one right hand. So if Malik Scott can revert him back, teach him how to move around the ring, stay on his feet, he'll have a real shot. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
everybody, it's 15 minutes after the hour. If you could, please leave a like, a subscription, and if all possible, could you share the stream? We would like to have more people who know about boxing or more people who are willing to be educated on the sweet science. If you want to do that and you want to help that be the case, share. Bring people over. In the
yeah,
Red
come
Corner
on in.
Boxing, Project here, GMP Boxing, El Sector, us brothers right here, we obviously know what we're talking about and we can educate you. Just come on over.
Hello?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, I want to see them do great because I don't want all the belts over there. I don't. You know what I'm saying? They'll hold them hostage.
Yep. And
They don't.
back to what you guys were saying before, though. I heard you guys saying before I jumped in. I heard you guys saying that basically UK fighters, they like to fight each other and stuff like that, and they like to go in combat with each other and whatnot. But I beg to differ. Like a lot of UK fights. You guys were saying something along those lines. Is that correct, or am I just?
Yeah, you along those lines.
Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, I beg to differ. Like UK fighters tend to not fight each other. If you look at the history, a lot of them, with the situation with I don't know if you guys recall. Remember Carl Froch?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was supposed to fight what's this guy's name over here? Joe Calzaghe. I don't know if you guys remember Joe
Kawasaki.
Calzaghe.
Yeah, I know. I can't
Uh,
stand Kawasaki. I can't stand
Yep.
him. I know
Yep.
who he is.
Yep. They never
Fighting
fought.
like a camp.
They never
He's
fought
fighting like
each
a camp.
other. Yep.
No, they wasn't gonna do that
They
because you gotta
ducked each
remember,
other. They
right?
ducked
You
each
gotta
other.
remember. But also, they was both two cash cows.
But that's the
They
thing
was
though.
making so much money. They was making so much money coming over this way. Because remember, Carl Frax was in the Super Six, Andre Ward. Then you had Calzaghe fighting. He got his claim to fame fighting Roy. Remember that?
Well, yeah. Well, that was a Dunroy. He lost to Bernard Hopkins, but that's a whole nother
Yeah. So
conversation
so
there.
you know what I'm saying. So them was cash cows. They were never gonna put them in the ring.
That's the
They didn't
thing
want to
though.
do.
That's
You
the
know what I'm
thing
saying?
though.
That was a thing back then. But like now, what you got when you got like Eddie Hearn, okay.
No, Eddie
Now you
Hearn.
see
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Because
now
yeah, let
you
me tell you
starting to
something.
see you starting to see more and more fight. You telling me you see more UK fighters fight
Nope.
English dudes?
Nope. UK fighters. Let me tell you something. Eddie Hearn once had Kell Brook and Amir Khan in the same stable, and he couldn't even get that fight to happen. These two guys
Well,
were these two guys were at their pinnacle at that point. Amir Khan was hot as
yeah,
fish grease. So was Kell Brook. Kell Brook had a title at the time, and he
no,
still couldn't
I
get that
remember
fight.
that.
He still
No,
couldn't get
I
that
remember.
fight to happen. These guys. Let me tell you
Yeah,
something. These guys. When these guys are Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, I'll be surprised if that fight never happens. You know why that fight won't happen? Because at the end of the day, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn don't like each other, and they're gonna play mind games and politics with each other till they don't want. None of them want to get on one over each other. That's
I
basically
think
what it boils down to.
that too, and also you got to deal with Bob Long. You know what I'm saying? That's his cash cow. So
Yeah.
like that's a promotional thing. But when you go back to that Kell Brook and Amir Khan, I swear to God, they was all playing mind games. I don't think Amir Khan wanted to get in the ring with Kell Brook.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Amir Khan wanted to get in the ring with him either. I don't think Amir Khan was like he was thinking about his brand, and that's what a lot of UK fighters
Right,
do.
exactly. And that's when it was huge because he sure was thinking about his brand.
Yeah,
But like now, but you see now though, because they're on their last leg, now they talking about fighting each other.
they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. You know why they're not gonna do it? Because Amir Khan doesn't want to. Amir Khan will he'll go to sleep well knowing that he never fought him and he never had to worry about him getting that over him. You get what I'm saying?
And to the point of what you said, we were saying, I do say this though, UK fans hold their fighters to a standard. Like they'll hold that over his head. Here we don't do that.
Nah, I disagree with you on that standpoint too. A lot of UK fighters, bro, I'm telling you right now, they don't even care. If their best fighters don't fight each other, they'll just marinate it. They'll think about it. They'll talk about it. In the United States, let me tell you something. In the US, when fighters fight each other, bro, bro. When fighters don't fight each other, and majority of the time they end up fighting each other. I go do the history. Go and do your homework. Majority of the time, the fighters end up fighting each other. There's at some point,
but is it
they
at
end
the
up fighting.
time that it's supposed
Right.
to happen?
Right. That's what I was going to say. It's never at the. It's 9 times 10, not at the time it's supposed to.
I understand, valid point, but in some majority of times, though, majority of instances, it's at the right time, though. Think about it. Outside of the only time I could ever think of two fighters not being able to fight each other at the right time was probably Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, and then also,
Well, Lenny stepped out of that.
Yeah, also, what you call this guy's name over
Floyd
here?
and Pacquiao.
Floyd and Pacquiao, and then also, what's his name over here?
Riddick Bowe, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Riddick Bowe and Mike Tyson, but they didn't because they're from the same neighborhood. They weren't going to fight.
Right.
If you look at it, those guys from the Brownsville area, none of them ever fought each other. It was Shannon Briggs, Mike Tyson, and Riddick Bowe. I've never ever seen any of them in the ring with each other. They wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
So that I understand that happens sometimes. You know, like good luck trying to get the Charlos to fight each other. Like that's just never going to happen.
Well, them brothers, no, that ain't gonna happen.
But that's basically how Tyson and Riddick Bowe are. They're from the same gym, like they're virtually.
But that was but back then that's what everybody wanted that though.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. But you're right though. You're right.
Majority of the time they all fight each other. They all fight. They all do it. These UK guys, they won't do it. Mike Tyson Fury will not fight. Will not fight Anthony Joshua.
I think that fight will happen.
It won't happen. It won't happen.
Like it'll happen more. Look, think about it. It'll happen more so now. Say like if Anthony Joshua don't pursue the belt, go back and get the belts. It'll happen because ain't nobody on their high horse.
I don't think it will happen.
And
you know why it won't happen? You know why it won't happen?
What?
If Anthony Joshua loses, Anthony Joshua's done. If Tyson Fury loses, Tyson Fury's done. If Tyson Fury wins, Anthony Joshua loses, Tyson Fury's going to retire. He's going to be like, I'm done with boxing. He'll run around claiming he's the greatest fighter of all time. And he'll say, I'm the undisputed, I'm the linear champion, and that's the end of that. I guarantee you, these guys are ready.
That's the thing right there where I've been different with you. When they lose over there, they don't hold that to their heart.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They don't hold it to their heart. They'll watch Anthony Joshua fight all the time if they.
No,
it doesn't matter if he lose or not.
No, when they lose, they hold it to their heart. They hold it to their heart. Let me tell you something. Prime example.
Those load up and see your story. That store got so many fans over there, man. You know how time store low.
Bro, let me tell you something, bro.
Like they revere their boxers. They actually care about their boxers. Like
you're right.
It's a big difference there. It's a big difference there than here.
No,
if you lose here, you can have one loss, and they look at you like you got shit on your face. Excuse my language, but that they do.
No, I get where you're coming from on that standpoint, but the reality is over here, though, if you lose over here, you still can continue boxing. I've seen Bernard Hopkins lose, and he still continued until he was 50 years old. The only time it was looked upon,
but you can't
frowned upon to lose was the Mayweather. Once Mayweather came in, once Mayweather started the 50-0. That's when everyone started to hold their O's. But let's be real though. Sean Porter's lost. Sean Porter's lost.
He's a warrior. But people, right? I hold him high regard, but a lot of people say he's trash. He's not.
Adrian Broner lost. Adrian Broner lost numerous times. People still watch.
But Adrian Broner proved his skills is not.
But the thing is, people still watch him though. That's what I'm trying to say.
He won't let his hands go. Yeah, because he's marketable.
Exactly.
It's the difference between marketable and skillful. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But let me tell you something too. Danny Garcia's lost. I've seen him fight after he lost. I've seen him go to the ring. Keith Thurman lost. Keith Thurman's lost. There's been several boxers.
But see, you gotta think. See, you naming people like you named Bernard Hopkins. That dude's an anomaly, bro. You know how long he held the belt?
Valid point.
You see what I'm saying? That dude had what, 12 years?
Yeah.
You can't compare that to nothing. Now, Thurman, in his defense, who did he lose to? A legend. I'd rather lose to a legend than somebody in my class. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So that's okay. That's fine. We ain't nobody mad at Thurman for that one loss. Now, if he would have lost to somebody in his class, then that'd be different. They'd be like, damn, he lost to Danny Garcia. How you lose Danny Garcia? Did Earl just beat Danny Garcia? Oh, Thurman must be garbage. That's how these newbies do. That's how they do. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to understand, these are casuals, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's how we don't do that. We don't look at it like that. But the casuals do. They the one that push it.
You just brought up an interesting point. Is there room for boxing to grow with boxing aficionados, like I can see that you are, El Sector, and the casual fan? Is there room for them for the sport to flourish?
Yeah, we need the casual fan. The casual fan is so important. The casual fan is the fan that's going to pay for the hyped up events, the hyped up event. Jake Paul, prime example. He fought Tyrone Woodley, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That whole entire venue was jam packed in Cleveland, Ohio, over there. It was all filled with casual fans. Nobody over there was a boxing head except for the media. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but you got to understand that was a cult foul. That's a little different.
But that's what we need, though. That's what we need in boxing, though, because you know
right.
what happened
Overall, though, we need that overall.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Just YouTubers, not just what I'm saying.
The casual, but they are part of the casual now. They're a part of a lot of these YouTubers are sitting down watching shows like this, watching other boxing networks on YouTube and other boxing shows locally in their local riding or whatever, their city or whatever, their region. And they're starting because they've seen that Jake Paul fight, they're starting to want to adopt boxing as well too. Also, another example, like the Mayweather fight with Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, or even like a certain type of fight, like maybe a Broner or something like that, where people on social media start to tune in. People start talking about, oh, did you see Broner or did you see Wilder knock out this guy? That's important. We need those people to help continue grow the sport. That's how eyes come in, and that's how money comes in, and that's how people like myself and you guys find each other.
I agree with that. But we need the same casual fans that Jake Paul has. See, Jake Paul fans care enough about Jake Paul to actually look up when his next fight gonna be. They care to see what he's doing after the fight. They care to see what he's gonna say on YouTube. They care about that. The regular casual fan, they just follow whoever's the hottest.
Exactly. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. Also,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're
so
right
like
on that
so in the aspect of Jake Paul is like he got fans like UFC got fans. UFC fighters, they could lose all day, but that UFC fighter, he got tons of fans. In boxing, it's not like that in the overall sense.
But
that's why Jake Paul is successful. You see what I'm saying? What he's doing.
UFC is a fight club. So what happens is UFC fighters come and go. They're very disposable. Dana White gets rid of guys ASAP. If you even talk disrespectful to Dana White, he's going to kick you out of the building. So UFC is a brand. UFC is always going to. The fans of the UFC are fans of the UFC. They're not fans of specific fighters, because we've seen fighters come and go, and that's the end of them. Nobody cares about it. Tyrone Woodley got his biggest payday. Tyrone Woodley at one point was a star in the UFC. He was even working on TMZ at one point. Afterwards, once he started to lose fights, his fans stopped giving a crap about him. The UFC stopped. The UFC as a whole, the entity, the UFC, stopped giving a crap about him and sent him off on the streets. You see what I'm saying? And then this is where the Jake Paul thing.
Well, I thought it was because he started being born.
No, because he's getting his ass kicked. He lost several fights in a row.
He lost 4 fights in a row.
And then they said his time is up. Yeah,
and he started to become unmarketable to Dana.
Exactly. And if Dana White doesn't like you, Dana White can get rid of you. You see what I'm saying?
Big Jake UK Sam, who I need to see your face for a little while. You don't have to show it when you get on here. It's just a lot of people get on here and showing a lot of okay.
Yo, what's going on, bro? What's going on, bro?
How you doing?
Yeah, man. That fight was mad, bro. Like, I'm in my 50s, man. I've been watching boxing all my life, man. Listen, that was fucked up, bro. That was fucked up, bro.
So how did the UK take that? How did they feel?
What here at the moment? Yeah. It is what it is, man.
Right. Let me ask you a question. So exactly. So when UK fighters lose, do you guys write them off or no? Or you still?
I'm not writing AJ off whatsoever. I don't think it's 4 in the morning now. I was watching it in the casino. I was watching the fight in Birmingham in the casino, big city, bro. And I'm still having a rum and coke now. So there you go. All I'm gonna say is, listen, AJ's an amazing fighter, man. This guy come from nowhere, got beat. Usyk beat the fuck out of him, man. That guy just battered that man. Got battered up. We're a bit different. our culture's a bit different to yours, yeah. The way we are, the way we speak, you know.
Right.
So listen, whatever happens in the rematch will happen. So we'll see. I would write AJ off in the rematch, but he got fucking destroyed in that first fight, bro. That weren't good.
Right.
Got the fucking shit kicked out of him, bro. I'm gonna lie.
Yeah, he took a beating tonight. That he did. But I mean, me personally, I don't write him off. I just think maybe he needs to. Now, let me ask you: does this trainer train anybody else?
He's a piece of shit. He's from my city. So this man McCracken lives in my city. So he's from here, Birmingham, second city in the UK. Yeah. Listen, that guy ain't got a clue. But listen, if that fucking robot is turning up like AJ and going, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, sir, what do you expect, bro?
Got you. Okay, so he's basically dealing with a trainer that don't have much experience at all.
He ain't got no experience. He was only a middleweight contender who got blasted out by Golovkin's partner. He fucking thumped him out. I was at the fight when McCracken got dropped and rinsed. So that, yeah, and that is AJ's fucking trainer, that guy. So,
wow.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah, I told you, bro. The guy, AJ needs a better trainer, man.
There you go. You got some fucking fool in charge of you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna copy and paste the fool. You're gonna copy and paste the fucking fool.
Good point.
Yes.
Very good point. That's a great point.
So what do you think is next with AJ? Like, what do you think the next movie should do? Like, what do you think he should go with this? I'll be right back.
Yeah, this man's needs to fucking let me just sorry about this. Because I'm in my 50s, bro. I'm not a young guy. It's fucking, my ears are hurting. Let me do my ears.
Is universal. It translates. It traverses over age and everything. Boxing is universal.
These people are rushing me. I'm not young. I'm an old man. You're rushing me here. What do you want me to tell you about the AJ rematch or what?
Go ahead.
What do you want me to say, bro?
What do you think, though? Do you think that he has a shot in the rematch if he sticks with the same trainer, or you look?
I think that trainer should have been gone for years. That motherfucker should have been booted out about 6 years ago. He is the Olympic trainer of Froch and all these guys, the fucking McCracken. He lives by me here in Birmingham in the UK. This motherfucker can only take you so far. When you go to big level boxing and you're fighting guys that are gonna do or die, you don't take somebody from the amateurs who got beating professionals because he didn't want to lose. You get somebody who's decent. And AJ is a Julius Francis, Audley Harrison bitch. Same as Fury. Listen to what I'm saying here. Fury is exactly the same as AJ. Is a fucking piece of shit. Avoiding people.
Why you say that, man? So it's true.
Avoiding people.
Okay, so
this guy, Fury, let me just itch my balls. Because let me just itch my balls. Listen, Fury, you just avoided a guy to pay off 10 million to Wilder to fight the rematch. If you thought that AJ was so garbage, why wouldn't you beat him, pay Wilder the 10 million, fight Wilder, beat him for another 10 million, go back to AJ and fight the rematch? Fury is as much a fraud as AJ is.
So it's true over there that y'all don't have no love for Fury.
I have a lot of love for him, but he's a
So you represent for him, but you call it down the middle, like how y'all feel.
Nah, bro. I'm always straight. I am when it comes to giving boxing predictions and stuff like that. And my mom won a bit of money today because she said that Usyk. My mom is 88 years old. She's an old woman, and she's trying to order a smartphone today. She's 88 years old. She's gonna be like that. Get the fucking shit. But yeah, listen, boxing is a beautiful thing. I think AJ will beat Fury. I was a Fury fan until this evening, and I knew this would happen. And I said that it would. My mom is an old lady, old fucking lady. She said this is going to happen. Fury will not sign the AJ fight. There's going to be big repercussions from this, and I personally think that I'm sorry for carrying on talking like a fucking arsehole, but there's big repercussions from this fight. I'll put myself on mute now, but there's big repercussions from this fight.
What do you mean by big repercussions, though?
I think there's big repercussions in the fact that people have been taking things for granted too much. Do you remember Hasim Rahman against Lennox Lewis?
Yes.
Everyone's taking it for granted that fucking Lewis is the champion. Come on, bro.
Yes. Okay, I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Right. Oh man.
What did you think about Campbell's performance?
That guy's a piece of shit, bro.
Is it?
Come on, bro.
Man.
That guy's shit.
Oh man.
Oh, he's nothing like his father. He's nothing like his father.
Listen, bro, that guy wasn't even any good to begin with, man. Like that. What was his name? Ricky Hatton. I went to 4 of his fights. That Ricky Hatton. Listen, man. No. Floyd clipped him with a right hook, and the geezer ran into the ring apron, bro.
Yeah.
Knocked himself out, bro.
He hit his head off the turnbuckle or whatever. Off the
Yep.
I remember that.
He knocked him right into the turnbuckle. What do you think? What do you think of his son, though? What do you think make of his son so far?
I got no. Listen, Campbell Soups are giving me more entertainment than him, bro.
His son got like how many fights? I think he got like 3 or 4 fights.
This guy's had less. This guy's had less fights than Superman, bro. Not gonna go with that, bro.
He didn't look too good today, though. That dude was wobbling, but they gave it to him.
Listen, these people are giving things in the UK fights for this, that, and the other, but everything needs to switch back to America in terms of boxing. You used to have Soldier Field in Chicago. You used to have Madison Square Garden. You used to have everything going on back in fucking Vegas. You used to have things going on in fucking Los Angeles and stuff. Listen, there's all these average people. Like, why are we even discussing people like Campbell Hatton, bro? You got all the fucking places.
I'm asking because we just trying to figure out how you guys review your boxes over.
Because we're obviously just ripping off the planet with idiots. You might as well put me. You might as well put me in there. Might as well put me in there. No, it's true though. It's true. It's just complete morons that are getting promoted.
No, I see what he's saying. Because you're over there, you'll have boxers that have like 5 fights and like 300 losses. I've seen that with my own eyes.
Facts.
I've seen that only in the UK. I've never seen a boxer with like 300 losses, and I'm like,
facts, bro.
And
you ain't gonna get that in Mexico. You ain't gonna get that in fucking. You ain't gonna get that in USA. No. It's a fucking bullshit. To be honest, and that's what I think, man. And listen, it needs to change. It needs to flip back to America in terms of boxing. That's what needs to happen.
So, what's your take on that Usyk? Like overall, what was your
Say
take on
again.
him? Usyk, what was your take on how he fought tonight? Like, just
It was excellent. You just battered him. To be honest, I personally, I was disgusted in AJ, and I had my mom betting on him. I had my cousins betting on AJ to win and all this shit. He's got beat up.
Yeah,
He got fucking beat up. That motherfucker didn't know what the fuck he was doing, bro.
no, I see what you're saying.
He didn't know. He didn't. He I'll be back in a sec. He didn't know what he was doing.
That's what you said.
Shout out to the UK, man. Shout out to the UK, man.
This is interesting.
Straight up.
So, do you guys have a big problem with corruption then, huh?
He said he'll be right back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they got the problem with their problem with corruption is the doping, bro.
It's doping.
Yeah, they got a doping problem over there, but they're low key keep it under wraps.
El Sector.
Yeah.
El Sector.
Now you teaching me something right there. I ain't know nothing
Hey
about
man, what island? What island?
What do you mean? What island?
I hear your
Where
accent.
No, I'm not from the islands, bro.
Oh, you not? You got a little Jamaican accent.
No. I'm from Toronto, bro.
You from?
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Well,
Okay.
shoot. Shout out to Canada. Thank you from across the border.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Toronto, bro.
Oh,
That's what
Where
it
you guys
is.
from? You from Kansas City?
I'm from Kansas City, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from St. Louis.
Wait, East St. Louis or St. Louis? St. Louis.
Both.
Oh snap! Okay.
St. Louis, right across the water.
Yeah, I know. Shouts to Darius Miles and Larry Hughes.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I ain't know people from Canada even knew about East St. Louis.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like, definitely, bro. My family lives all over their states, so I got family out in Michigan, out in Jersey, out in Houston. Literally, I used to stay out in Houston, so I used to stay on the west side of Houston. So
I used to stay on the west side of Detroit.
oh, for real? Say word, yeah. Okay, so you say you like Coney Islands?
Yeah, Bilal. I used to go to Bilal. All that.
Okay. You saying Cuzos?
Yeah, man, all that. We used to do all that, man.
Okay, that's what's up.
I used to go to Cooley. I went to high school there. I went to Cooley High.
Oh, okay. So you're really from over there.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. She's saying, when did you live? What year did you live out in Detroit?
Man, that was in the 90s?
Okay, you were out there in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah, that was in the 90s. I stayed off Schoolcraft and Freeland.
Okay. Yeah. Shouts to Detroit, man.
Hey. Wow. It's a small world after all.
Yeah, Detroit's like a few hours away from my house, so like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, bro. So
yeah,
that's that program, man. The hardcore porn. Have you ever watched that? The hardcore porn.
No, it's a boxing channel. No,
Yo, listen. There's a program in the UK called Hardcore Porn. There's these like two guys. These two guys, they sell stuff out of Detroit. It's like from a pawn shop. It's called Hardcore Porn. It's not porn. Porn in terms of selling.
I got you.
Yeah. It's
hardcore porn, not porn.
Not porn. Not fucking. Oh man, what the fuck, bro? What about?
I was about to say this is a family show.
You're about Chinese with big tits, bro. These motherfuckers on about Chinese women with big tits, bro. And I'm on about gold.
How did you know? How did you know?
That's the most famous program on the planet. It's called Hardcore Porn. And not porn. It's on about selling things. And that's in Detroit. I'm just going to turn my camera off now, man. That's crazy.
Hey.
You need to text that.
oh man.
We get that in here. We get that in the UK. We get that in the UK.
Hey, I was about to say this is a family show. I'm trying to keep it at least PG-13.
No, it's not
At least.
porn. No, it's not porn. It's not
Oh,
that.
man.
No,
That
it's
was
not that.
hilarious,
It's
man.
not that.
Well,
Okay.
hey fellas,
Back
man.
to
I hope
boxing.
y'all.
Like, how's the corruption out there?
Oh, I want to hear this. Yeah, fuck it.
How is it, fam? How's the corruption with the whole boxing scene out there? Is it really major? Because we don't get to hear a lot about UK politics and UK fighters over
Not
here.
me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, I'm more interested in DMT in Detroit, bro, than me. I'm more interested in him, bro. I'm not really. What do you want to know about here, man?
The corruption, like, because there's a lot of things that we don't get to hear about. And a lot of things, like, who's coming up in the boxing ranks that you would love to see promoted?
Well, in the UK.
Yeah.
Like which fighter? Which fighter?
I don't know, man. There's been a lot of shit going on at the moment. We've got a guy called Joshua Buatsi. He's fighting a light heavyweight. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know.
Did you watch Lawrence Okoli today? Mash that man's up. He beat that guy up.
Yeah.
He battered him in about 3 rounds, didn't he? We used to have Isaac Chamberlain. It's called the British Beef. I was at that fight in London. I'm from Birmingham, so I live about 200 miles from there. But I went to the Isaac Chamberlain Okoli fight about 2 years ago. We love boxing here. You do know we love boxing here, yeah.
Oh yeah. Boxing is more on a higher scale out there than it is out here. Believe it or not.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. But we all keep it on the outside, and we're not that fit. Look at me. I'm not exactly the best. Listen, boxing is a beautiful sport because it takes a lot of people out of a lot of places that they didn't necessarily want to be in the start. Do you know? So it makes communities gel in terms of people. Like, I'm in my 50s now. I started boxing when I was quite young, and it kept me out of a lot of drugs and stuff like that. I worked for 24 years in London as a crazy. I was married to some idiot Spanish woman for a long time. Then I split up with her. I went back to boxing to keep my head straight. Combat sports keeps your mind active.
Right.
So it stops you from going crazy as a person. So if you were to ask me about UK and sports, this is the home of that.
Right.
I live in the home of that. So if you mention boxing or fighting to me, or anyone on the UK streets, whether we're brown, white, purple, black, pink, green, white, fucking yellow, we're all gonna say the same. It's a part of our culture, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what we are. Yeah.
That's what's up.
There you
know,
go.
it's nice to hear a perspective from over there, because, like I said, we don't get many opportunities to talk to anybody from across the pond. And when it comes to the sport that I love, because I love boxing with a passion, even more than I love pawn. But
Right.
What? Oh, I don't hear that. I don't want to hear that. Well, what's he on about now?
That's stupid.
I don't want to hear about that.
Fellas, I'm gonna have to get up out of here, man. But it's great to meet you, El Sector, man.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Big UK fan, man. Hope y'all
Sweet,
keep
man.
coming through, man. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button in the red corner, man.
Yeah,
I'll be
Word up,
back
bro.
soon. All right, y'all.
Well, look after yourself, man.
Right.
All right.
You too. Everybody do the same.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. Yeah, man.
That's my brother from another mother right there.
He was a nice man. Yeah, but boxing is global, so you're always gonna speak to people that enjoy it. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And if you've got the ability to, if you've been involved in, anyone who's been involved in boxing or have had any sort of link in it in terms of being a kid or being an adult, it's always going to make you a better individual than you actually are originally. So if you are involved in boxing, it's only going to be a positive. It ain't going to be a negative.
All right, I'm down with that. I love that, but I'm closing in on 2 hours, so I gotta end it.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro.
No, you guys are fine. This was a very wonderful and informative conversation about, like I said, the sport that I love. I would hope to have everybody back, if at all possible, God willing, the next time I go live to talk about this beautiful sport. Until then, I wish everybody to have a good night, y'all.
Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Word up, bro.